continue to sharpen it with some sandpaper. Use this flat board just to get a rough start on it. And I'll start with 220 wet dry sandpaper. Use a little WD-40 for cutting fluid. Wet it up a little bit. Take the blade, use circular motions. You want to watch for that little puddle coming up on the blade as you make the circle. That just means you're catching the edge of the blade, getting the maximum sharpening effect. You keep on flipping. You'll start to feel that blade starting to smooth out as you go through this sandpaper, taking out the file marks, and eventually you'll switch over to the higher grade or higher grit sandpaper on up to, I usually use up to 2000 to really make it razor sharp. So I'll just continue on. Alright, so I decided to switch off for the sandpaper. I got this little diamond stone. I'll probably finish off with some 1000 and 2000 grit on top of this because it's a harder surface and you'll get a better edge. So I'll take this and I'll pretty much look down the edge, and so I can watch the profile. Still doing circular motions. I alternate between short circles, small circles, and then larger circles. It's pretty sharp right now, but we're going to keep on going. I'm going to go ahead and use this as my base, since it's such a flat surface and a hard surface versus this wood. And I'm going to go ahead and put a piece of 1000 grit sandpaper on top of it. Just kind of hold it down right there. Put some more WD-40 on here. I'm not pressing down, I'm just letting the blade rest on this sandpaper and just circular motions. Off of the stone side, you can still see the swirl marks. Now you're starting to get into the fine polishing of the 1000 grit. Starting to take those swirl marks out. Alright, I'm on 1200 grit right now. Still doing circles. What I also like to do is every once in a while just kind of change up the pattern, so you change the direction of the scratches. Lets it cut a little faster. Alright, I've switched over to water for my cutting fluid, and I have a sheet of 2000 grit that I've put on a stone right here just for another flat surface, kind of get it raised up a little bit. Trying to act like I'm just kind of shaving the top layer of this sandpaper. Start to see that fine edge get on there. It's pretty sharp and it's got a mirror finish right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put some rouge on a piece of leather and strop it. Okay, well, I got the little stick of jeweler's rouge. Got this scrap piece of leather. Any leather would do. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. I have it right here with an ice pick to hold it down, so I'll just put a little bit of rouge on here and then just drag the blade several times. All you're trying to do is take off the little micro bevel from sanding back and forth on it. Just continue to do this. I usually do 20 to 30 strokes on each side. Let's see if this thing shaves. I'd say it does. Alright, before I try to seat this head, I'm going to go ahead and tape off this edge because it's pretty sharp and I don't want to cut myself. Now we're going to go ahead and just burn this wood a little bit with this little torch. Okay, now I'll go ahead and throw a light sanding on it. Then I'll throw a coat of oil linseed oil that's still a little warm.